Hey guys, so today I got an email from a lovely person. I will call her Mary, not her real name. And Mary is going through a tough period because she's going through what I call the dark night of soul, a classical period of inner transformation and renewal. This is not a pleasant process if you've read any of my writing in previous videos, or if you are going through this yourself, you know what it feels like. And Mary is really going through a tough period in her dark night. And she says she basically feels like nothing that she worked on internally, spiritually, has amounted to anything at all. It feels like she's just a hopeless case because I'm sure she's spent years improving herself and improving and working on herself spiritually and personally. And I can tell she is a very kind and intelligent and compassionate person. But I also know the feeling that feels like nothing you know spiritually is true anymore. I certainly had that period myself. You see this wall behind me, this white wall. It used to be a wall of books, all kinds of um, spiritual, religious, intellectual books from all kinds of thought leaders and spiritual leaders and teachers, gurus, you name it. I've tried all sorts of personal growth modalities and exercises and programs. Um, and then one day I just threw all of this out. I sold the books and give it to friends, and because I realized, none of those things that I read before and I've practiced before rings true anymore. I just don't know anything any longer. And that was a very frustrating feeling. So Mary, trust me, I know what you are going through right now. So the question is your self improvement a waste of time? Is all the work you've done on yourself internally to improve and to become a better person, is it all a waste of time? And my answer to that question is yes and no. No, because apparently whatever work you've done has helped you at a certain point of time of your growth. It has helped you in the past. It has helped you to become the beautiful person that you are today. However, it also, in the process, accumulated lots of brownie points for your ego. You know, it's not a result of anybody's conscious intention, but it's just the truth of life. Is the more knowledge we accumulate, the more wisdom we think we have, the more our ego gets inflated, the more the ego thinks it knows. The truth is, no matter how wise you are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter, you know, how much wisdom you've accumulated in your life, all this intangible knowledge becomes a baggage at some point because it just narrows you into a box more and more. By the way, all of us, we live in our little boxes. We think we live in one world, but in fact, it's a world of millions of little worlds with people don't talk to each other who live in separate little boxes of worlds. And we all think that our box is the entire world or is the better, more enlightened world. But the truth is, your box can be beautiful. It can be amazing. It can be very big, but it's still a box. You know, it's got its limitations. And the thing about boxes is when you live in them, you don't realize you live in them, and you look down upon other people who don't live in it. And that's how the world it is today. That's why there are so many conflicts among people of different beliefs and spiritual systems and perspectives and worldviews, because we all think ours is the best. So maybe the purpose for you going through a transition like you're going through right now is to realize how much wisdom that there actually is in that realization that you actually don't know anything. That is a very profound, wise realization, because that's the first step for you to live outside of your own little box. Because apparently, for whatever reason, now is the time that you realized, oh, maybe I don't want to live in my old box anymore. Maybe I'm ready to step outside of it and look at other people, look at what the rest of the world has to offer. And maybe the purpose for you to go through this is that you can grow and expand to a point where you can understand different boxes. You can be compassionate to people who live in their own little boxes, and you can be compassionate to people who live outside of that as well, because you understand both. You can be a bridge and a channel of conversation and understanding among people. That's how you become bigger, and then how you start to live a more expanded life and become a bigger presence in the world. Now, I'm not saying that. So I really want to congratulate you for actually making this step. This is a very important realization. But on the other hand, this is not a pleasant process. But I want you to know that the reason it's unpleasant is not because, oh, I actually don't know anything, which is the truth, which is truth. None of us know much of anything. You think I'm talking to you, I have a YouTube channel, I teach people things, but seriously, none of us know much about anything. Nobody living in this world knows much more than you. They're at most one or two steps ahead of you in their own development. So once you realize that nobody actually knows much, it's you don't get very easily impressed anymore, which is very sad, because in a sense it's kind of a loss of innocence. But anyway, so where was I? Oh, so the realization that you don't know anything in itself, it doesn't cause suffering. There's no problem with that realization, because if you think about it, okay, you don't know anything. All the things you've learned and worked on in the past is a waste of time. So what? Why is it bad? Why is it frustrating? It's not frustrating in itself. The only reason that it's frustrating is because your ego always thinks that it knows something. It has accumulated all this knowledge, and now it's lost. But in fact, you haven't lost anything, because what has changed? You have not lost anything. All the knowledge and wisdom and self-improvement that you've worked on before brought you where you are today, that enabled you to take the next step that you are ready to take. Now, I know just knowing that is not going to stop you from feeling frustrated, but you need to know that the reason you feel frustrated is because that your old self is trying to hold on to what you know before and is not happy about letting it go. And that's totally okay. Now, I have some suggestions for you, okay, to how to handle this process. First, it goes back to loving yourself. Right now, it's the part of you that's angry and frustrated that needs your love the most. It's the part of you that feels like she is losing control of her life, that she is living in so much uncertainty, that she is frightened and frustrated and she doesn't know what to do. It's that part that needs your love the most. Love that part of you every minute, every second, to the best of your ability. Okay? Second thing you can do, relax. When we are frustrated, when we feel frustrated, the body tenses up. We started breathing shortly without even realizing that. Because the body thinks like you're in some kind of dangerous situation. The truth is the opposite. You do not need to run. You do not need to escape. You do not need to tense up. It will only make you more frustrated, not less. What you really need is to relax. Relax into the notion that you actually do not know anything. Relax into the nothingness that is always there. Relax into the knowing that, you know what? I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know where this is going. I don't know where my life is going. I don't know what is true and what is not true. I don't know what I don't know, and I don't know what I do know. It's all a mess. And that is totally okay. Relax. And relax a little bit more. It's okay. You know, the sky is not falling. Even if it's falling, it's okay. It's a short life. It's a short life anyway. I hope that's not that doesn't sound too depressing, but if you are relaxed, it won't be such a depressing notion. Now this process, this dark night of soul, it's really very, very humbling to the ego. The awareness that you actually don't know anything, it's very humbling. That's why it's frustrating, because your ego is like, oh no, don't make me go through this. This is awful. Why? That's okay. Love your ego. Love whichever part of you that feels frustrated. And trust that you are doing just fine. You actually, the way I see it, you are doing beautifully. You are growing and expanding. You're right on track. So I hope this is useful. If not, that's okay. If not, you can just go like, well, I just wasted 15 minutes on YouTube. I've already wasted my whole life accumulating these useless knowledge that I now realize it amounts to nothing. Wasting 15 minutes on YouTube, that's nothing. A lot of love sending your way. I hope you feel better.